Hi guys, my name is Adam and I'm the community manager for skinwallet.com. In last week's video, we've placed all knife models on a tier list. Now it's time for a bit of a longer topic, knife finishes. We're going to be using the M9 Bayonet as the basic template for this, just because you can apply all the finishes to it and it has a lot of blade to show them off. We'll also include all Doppler phases and gamma Doppler phases, but we won't get into crimson web, case hardened, or fade and marble fade special patterns since, well, there's a lot of them and it's all very complicated. That said, we're splitting the skins into 5 tiers again: incredible, pretty rad, decent enough, meh, and trash tier. Our criteria are simply their looks at best and worst, so if a finish looks horrible on some knives, we're going to dock some points for that. Before we start, however, just a quick reminder that you can turn your skins into cash nearly instantly by using our website skinwallet.com. Use code THANKYOU1K to get plus 2% on transactions over $50. Let's start with the Autotronic. I really like this design. It's one of the few knife finishes that really has a particular vibe to it, namely a sci-fi one. The Autotronic knives feel as if they're straight from Mass Effect. They don't feel like CSGO knives. I wasn't sure where to place them, but eventually I decided that they're just too original not to be placed in incredible tier. The black laminate is minimalism exemplified. Just a black blade for somebody who wants that. We think that's great, and it goes into pretty rad tier. The blue steel is a very bland, minimalistic design that doesn't really differ that much from the vanilla look on most knives. Unlike some finishes, they at the very least don't make the knives actively uglier than they were, so we're going to place this one firmly in meh. Speaking of finishes that make knives actively uglier, the Boreal Forest is the definition of bleh. I know some people like the forest camo theme, and they do have a thematic fit with other skins, but I just can't get over the ASG fanboy vibe that these give off. Almost meh, but it's trash. The Bright Water is in a similar boat, no pun intended. Looking like a blue reskin of the Boreal Forest, the light blue does help it out a bit. It's thoroughly uninteresting, but the color palette is the thing that tips it over to the meh category over the Boreal Forest. The case hardened is a tough one. At its finest, like for example the infamous Hiko pattern, it's absolutely beautiful. But as I said earlier, picking out every pattern for the case hardened would turn this video into an hour-long marathon of looking at what is essentially an oil spill pattern. There are knives where they look okay, there are knives where they look bad. It all depends on luck, pattern, and research. I'm gonna go with decent enough for this one because of how shaky and dependent on luck this one is. The Crimson Web is incredible. I don't think that this is a controversial statement to make. Its aggressive red color combined with the cool looking, not too in-your-face webs create one of the most popular and beloved finishes in CSGO, for good reason. I really like the Damascus Steel. It's very low-key, but it actually boosts the vanilla skins in most cases. It looks realistic and adds a sort of a visceral feel to the blade. It's not the most beautiful, but it's definitely okay looking on most knives. And insanely beautiful on others. This one is definitely decent enough, but almost pretty rad. Oh god, the Dopplers. We're gonna go into a lightning round here. Basically all the skins look pretty damn good. Phase 1, 2, and Black Pearl go into pretty rad while the others go straight into incredible. Clearly the Sapphire and Ruby are insanely clean, beautiful, and rare. I feel like the red stains take a bit of an edge out of the knives, if you will, which is why the kinda inconsistent looking first 2 phases in Black Pearl have to take a back seat here. They're all awesome though. The Fade is another one where it's either amazing or really meh. The Karambit Fade looks incredible, but the Butterfly and Falchion lose their vibrancy in comparison to the others. Also, the Bayonet looks a bit off. This one is pretty rad, but the Karambit is absolutely incredible. If the Boreal Forest bordered on meh, the Forest DD Pad is just the even trashier version of the same design. Trash, enough said. The Freehand is one of the interesting ones. It's certainly not incredible, but it's really unique, courtesy of the graffiti-style drawings on the blade. It looks awesome from afar, and even better from close in, so this one is definitely pretty rad. The Gamma Doppler is definitely a poor man's Doppler, and looks pretty bad in some cases like the Bayonet Phase 1. This makes it really hard to call any of the other phases for the Sapphire incredible. The first 4 phases go into pretty rad, and the Sapphire goes into incredible, of course. The Lore's medieval vibe and incredible color palette are a great example of a skin that can fit a certain theme. Going with skins like the Dragon Lore and the Tarot series, as well as some of the Gunsmith offerings, this is an incredible addition to any inventory thanks to its simple yet effective design. The Marble Fade is a fade, but better. The candy-colored palette really makes it stand out, and it really does make every skin look better in its own way. This one goes into incredible since it's just so fun to look at. The Knight is an interesting case of simplicity. The navy blue tint isn't for everyone, but aside from the shadow daggers, this one really adds something to the vanilla skins. It's not the best minimalistic dark skin for the knives, but it's certainly decent enough. There are two ways to approach the rust coat, either by just looking at it and its visual qualities, in which case it would be trash, or look at it from more of a thematic point of view, where it really enhances the feel of your inventory if you go for a full post-apocalyptic vibe. Then it's actually decent enough. So to balance those two perspectives out, let's place it in meh. The Safari Mesh. I called it the Safari Meh on occasions before, but you know what? That'd be really generous to it. It brings nothing. It's the blandest of bland, featuring one of the worst colors in the world in vomitish green. From now on, I name thee the Safari Trash. The Scorched. This one is just ugly. It feels uninspired, sometimes it feels even low res. It looks okay on some knives, but overall it's a horrible looking skin that looks like it was pulled out of a burning trash can. Word should return, trash. The Slaughter is kinda a budget Crimson Web and Ruby. If you're looking for red-ish skin that has a really nice enough pattern, this one works for you. It looks really good on almost all skins, and that places it firmly in pretty rad territory. The Stain looks like if the Damascus Steel and the Scorch had a child. It's not the most attractive, but it's not the ugliest. It looks just about good enough to be firmly meh. If you like this style, it might be a good budget choice though. We really like the Tiger Tooth. In fact, we made an entire video about the best skins for it, so go figure. It's unique, it has an aggressive feel courtesy of its stripes, and it really works well with both yellow and orange skins, making it pretty rad. The Ultraviolet is the best minimalistic skin, two-toned, keeping the blade black. It's simple, but beautiful in its own way. We know some people don't really think this about it, but honestly, I don't care. This one's pretty rad. The Urban Mast is another ugly damn skin, just gray, nothing added. The Stained is far better. This one is on the level of the Scorch, so it goes right into the trash. And that be all, folks. Do you agree with our choices? Did we insult your favorite skin? Let us know in the comments or on our social media. The links are in the description. Be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to our channel for more tier lists and other awesome content. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day and cheers.